tutorial is on how to add events or update events within your calendar of your website. Grab a cup of coffee. This one takes a little bit of time because there's a lot of options. First thing we're going to do is come over to the left-hand side of the screen and go to events, and I just would like to show you what they kind of look like on this side. This obviously indicates which church it's going to be happening at. You'll notice that some of them tell you that they're a repeating event. At this point, all of them are repeating events. Your council meetings show that they're every third Thursday. Your lunch and study is the first Sunday of the month. Sunday school every week. So we'll go from there, and we're going to add a new. You can either go here and add a new. You can come over here and add a new. When you first hovered over events, it kind of pops up. Either way, it doesn't matter. We are going to start with a long event just so that I can explain the breaks that happen. If we were making this and you were going to have a game night at King of Grace, and you want them to bring a game, and it's going to be at 6 p.m., then this is how you would assume that you would type it in there. I'm going to choose a date, and we'll just say that it's on Friday the 15th on Sunday. I'm sorry, on Friday, September 15th. Okay. The start time, we picked 6 o'clock. And what this does, in case you have some other classes or some other event prior to this, that it will list them in order of time. So if you had, we'll say, a Bible study at 3 in the afternoon, it would list that first, and then it will list this second. All right, we're just for right now, we're going to publish that. We're not going to do anything fancy to it because I would like to show you. Now you look on here and everything you can see on the screen. You come here and now game night, if I hover over it, then everything shows up. But if somebody's not on a computer, then it's going to look a little bit differently on a phone or on an iPad or whatever kind of device somebody has. So we want to make sure that we have the proper spacing on here so that people don't have to hover over it. So I'm going to go back over here to the event, and we are going to create breaks. So you have 2 brackets, and in between the 2 brackets you put a BR. This is HTML, and it works for some things in the website, like on a sermon if you wanted to break it up, or your Voice of the Shepherd. This works. It doesn't work on every single kind of thing. Sometimes the BR would show up. We don't want the BR to show up. Anyway, I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put that again in here, and I'm going to put it again here, and I'm going to update it, and then I'll come over here and refresh the page, and now as you can see, everything shows up. The other thing I wanted to point out, I did put little dashes in here just so people knew when something started. Like, we'll look at the 10th, and we have the Divine Service, King of Grace, 9 a.m. The next subject is Sunday School. Otherwise, it looks like one big long paragraph. Divine Service, King of Grace, 9 a.m., Sunday School, King of Grace, So I put the little dashes in there just so that they're separate. This one, if this is the only event you're having tonight, then you wouldn't need to do that. All right. So let's look at some of the features. So when we put in the date, only when I updated it did it put an end date. You don't need to add an end date. So I'm just going to leave that blank for right now because it'll fix it. If you're doing something like LYA or a VBS and you do have an end date and you want this to repeat that whole week, then you certainly then could put an end date on there. Okay, we put in 6 p.m. We put that, don't show that. We're just putting so that things get time stamped where they need to be. Reoccurrence. Maybe you're going to have this every month. So you can click on monthly. Well, maybe you're going to have it on the 15th of every month. Probably not, because 15 falls on different days of the week. So we can come down here to on specific weeks. And let's say the 15th is the 3rd week of the month. I'm not sure. Was it the 3rd week? It is the 3rd week. And so we hit the 3rd week. So then every month it's going to show up on the 3rd week of the month. Reoccur. Sorry. We know that it probably won't go through summer. Or let's say that this is something that you just do over, and maybe it's over just the winter, whatever. But I'll just, for the sake of argument, like for Sunday school, the same thing. I usually have Sunday school and Bible studies ending at the end of May. So this says that this is going to, every month it'll happen, but we'll stop in May. Now, there's Christmas. We most likely won't have this during Christmas week. And so I would say that I would on the 3rd, let's see. Well, it doesn't fall on Christmas, but we're gonna just say we won't have it in December because December is such a busy month. And so I'll click that. Now, the other thing you can do, if the venue that you want, if you know for sure it's going to be at King of Grace, then you start typing it in, and this should, I've loaded it in there so that all you have to do is I just put the K and hit, and then went on to King of Grace, and it showed up on here. Once you're done with all of that, if you wanted to put an image, if you had a game night image, you certainly could add that at this point. I'm going to upload something well, you know what? I am going to use this one here because I know it's the right size, even though it's not the right image. And I'm going to update it so that we see what this looks like on the calendar if you have an image. So on the actual calendar, it does not show up. When you click on it and go to event details, it shows up on there. Now, the other thing that we could do if we wanted to, if we didn't want to have all this verbiage here, bring a game, we actually could get rid of this and we could put this down here. And maybe we want them to bring something to eat. So we'll just update that. That would be something else that you can do. We'll go over here, refresh the page, and it makes it a little bit shorter on here. And when they go to event details, then that's where you would see bring a dish to pass. Now, if they don't click on that, they wouldn't see it. So sometimes it is just best left here. If we go onto your dashboard, we go here and go to visit site, and we go down to your events. I'm not sure. There. Now, none of these have any kind of image. If you want images, I can set them up where there'll be different images for a divine service, for Sunday school, for whatever you want to do. I wanted to show you what it would look like. It adds a little bit of interest. Some people could say it maybe makes it look busy. That would be entirely up to you. If I go to, let's see, this website real quick, it will show you, I have to sign, well, I can just go to visit. This will show you what it looks like if this is the same theme, and this is what it looks like with images. Okay, so we will go back here, and everything is good here. I will later delete all of this, but for right now, we'll just hit update and go back to our calendar from here. Okay. Another thing to point out in the menu, if anytime you see that there's a second line on there, I have used that BR, that break, so that otherwise Voice of the Shepherd, the verbiage would come out this far, and sometimes you run out of room in your menu bar, so I've used that feature also in that. And that's how you add events.